Alright, how's it going? It's Jency Jack. Today, I made a remix of one of my favorite Mike songs, African Freak Fantasy. It's just like, it's one of those ones that kind of really grew on me. I heard it for the first time and I'm like, oh, this is okay. My girlfriend played it in the car like 2 months later and I was like, oh my god, this song is sick. The beat is insane. If you listen to the lyrics, they're crazy too. But yeah, so I took the acapella and I just made an entirely new beat around it. So I'm going to show you what I did. One thing you might notice right off the bat is I don't use FL Studio really anymore. I use Ableton all the time now. FL Studio, I had a good 5-year run. We had a good 5-year run. Taught me a lot about making music and arranging, but Ableton is just so much. For what I want to do personally, it's become a lot more quick and convenient and fun to make music. The possibilities within it are interesting and fun. So can't lie, I just switched, man. Can't lie. I never thought I would do it, but I did. So let's start off from the jump. I've just got this like cool little intro here. So nothing really breakdown here. I made this chill R&B loop thing. So it's like very live sounding kind of thing. It's really great. Not very applicable in many cases, but in this song it was very, very useful. And now let's just listen to the beat. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to break down the drums. And how amazing is this? I can just have a group for the drums. Isn't that fantastic? So I'm just going to solo the group. So for this, I've just got a kick doing a pretty simple but like bouncy rhythm. This is like some random Alchemist kick I found. The return of horse milk. Using horse milk again. What am I? Just an EQ because I didn't really want the claps. It's more for the tambourine. So it's kind of just acting as a tambourine loop. But do you see how like versatile your own perk loops can be? Any perk loops. If you just like take out what you don't need, like got swing, and then I've got of course the chill R&B loop, and then just this cool little perk here. About it, and that's about it for the drums. Honestly, super simple. The snare, however, the snare comes from this sample, which is just like this like Japanese jazz sample. Super simple 808 snare. I laid down the drums, and then what I did was I found the chords of the song and I played this little Juno thing. So yeah, identical voicings. Make sure to use your ear. I had to it took me, I'm not going to put a timestamp on it, but a great thing to do is really try to use your ear as opposed to like running something through a key finder or doing a thing in Ableton where you can convert audio to MIDI. Like that's maybe good when you're just starting out, but if you're a bit more experienced, just start using your ear. It is so useful to build that up. And then move to the acapella itself.
Most for the cheese, more for your reach, jumping out and beat this settled by people.
Right, so first thing that I did on this vocal, I just pitched it down 2 semitones. And this is something that I see that is one of those things that's incredibly important, but I see done incorrectly a fair bit. Now, there's a few people, Black Mass, people like that who are very aware of this, but I see people make mashups and they just don't change the key of the vocals, right? One of the things that's the most impressive about rap is its nuance. So in the 90s, you had people like Tribe Called Quest rapping over these quite jazzy beats that were very simple loops, so they could be quite creative with their phrase and the way that they use their voice. A lot of people who aren't passionate about music are not going to know this, but when you listen to rap, when you see like take Bugging Out, for example, when Five Dog says drink a lot of soda, so they call me Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? He says it like, drink a lot of soda, so they call me Dr. Pepper. And it's like, that's melodic. Do 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 do. You know what I mean? That's a melodic line. And he's not singing it, he's rapping it. So it's coming from a kind of a different style of using your voice, but it's just as melodic as like a sax line or a bass line. You know what I mean? So you have to treat everything as an instrument with melody, especially rap vocals, because it would sound so lame if that was out of key. Same with your drums. If your drums aren't tuned to the thing, like if you use a drum break and then it's just way out of the key of the sample, it's not going to sound good. Everything has to be tuned together. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to a tom in like, the example, Take Me Home, right? Take Me Home by Phil Collins. All of the toms in that song are tuned to notes of the key of the chords, right? And it makes everything glue together sound so beautiful. So that's very, very important. So what I did was I just dropped it 2 semitones. Just gives it a lot more context, right? And yeah, let's keep listening.
No, might seem like it's for nothing when I read through the book, my key. Shit coming up is green. Go is my key in the summer, turning keys. So take nothing like me, talking tough and getting G. No, might seem like it's for nothing when I read through the book, my key. Shit coming up is green.
So with this song, for me personally, like I really don't like to leave stuff the same. I think I talked about that in my very first video I made, but I got the most out of 2 chords was the amount of times that is not present. So another thing I learned from Tribe Called Quest is that space is incredibly important, and your arrangement, right? So if you listen to a song like Bugging Out or Excursions, for example, Excursions has that bass like boom 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 boom, and then the drums, right, which are quite simple. It's 6 layers: the vocals, the ad-libs, chorus sample, the bass sample, the drum sample, and the vocal sample. So 6 layers in a song. It takes a lot of chopping and giving certain parts space to make that interesting for 4 minutes. And like that song goes for 4 minutes, right? What you have to do is you have to be aware of how to emphasize specific aspects of the song and when to emphasize them and when not to emphasize them. This is something that I'm still learning and I wouldn't say entirely have a grasp on, but it's something that'll turn your music into something incredibly memorable because it allows you so much more freedom in the way you want to express things, and how much emphasis you want to place on different things also provides you with a lot of freedom. And it also makes your music sick. Like if I just had this going straight the whole song, cool loop, like the groove's cool, but like it's enhanced by how I'm placing emphasis sometimes when he's talking, sometimes when he's not. Like I won't place emphasis on it. Gives it a lot more of a dynamic range, spatially. And you know, you have to make sure, just like compression, when you're using dynamic range to shorten or widen the dynamic range of the volume, you have to make sure that you hit the right spot with your dynamic range spatially. I'm sure there's a different word for it, but that's just what I'm going to use for now. So as you can see right here, I took the sample out and the melodic elements out, and I do it like quite consistently on the 3 beat in the last bar of the phrase. It makes them sound cool, it gives them space, it allows the artist to further express themselves, and that is the goal of producing music. So there you go. Here, guys, I love video game samples. Video game samples is like free sound design kind of shit. Here, it's literally just like, it's not, the sound of Flash Binding of Isaac, of him dying, and I just ran it through an auto-tune. Kind of cool, just gives it a little break. So another thing I have is this DX7 layer, really not doing much. To me, that it sounds like the literal stock piano that you have when you open the software. So yeah, as simple as. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about as well is this. So this tape stop is automated on the master. It's just with the Abbey Road vinyl saturator. I'm just automating the stop and play to stop here. It also stops slightly in front of the next bar, just so I can keep that kind of dum. Just keep the drop on the 1, because that's very important. If you lose the 1, man, you've lost the whole groove of the whole song. So yeah, at the end here, I've just got this tape stop that ends the song. And yeah, that's about it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. My handle, as always, Gency Jack on Instagram. It's right there. Willing to work as hard as possible for the city scene, because all I've ever really wanted to do is contribute to things, and this is one way through music that I might actually be good at it. I really value music and human connection, and where those two things intersect is like how I've met most of my good longtime friends, you know what I mean? We're talking about music, sharing our thoughts, opinions, comparing things to other things, like it's like the spice of every single one of my friendships and relationships. So, you know, it's something that follows me around all the time and never leaves my head. And I've got so many ideas, so many cool ideas that I want to do with people. I come up with shit all the time. Practicing every day, working as hard as I possibly can, so that when you and I cross paths, I'm going to be ready. So hit me up on Instagram, Gency Jack, DM, internationally, locally, don't care. I really appreciate watching. Thank you so much.